As with all volunteer roles, you give as much as you can for as long as you can, the best you can. But I decided a few months ago that as of the Expo, I'd be stepping down from my current role as chair of the Future Oxford Partnership. It's been a wonderful opportunity to get to know the county in which I live that much better. My wife and I have lived here for all of our adult lives since 1990, and you think you'd know where you live, but you don't until you get this kind of opportunity to see all the fantastic work that people do. As I mentioned before, there's been a lot of great work going on for a very long time before we came along. So we never want to take credit for everything that's happening. We just want to help it go even better. So it's with a great sense of confidence and pleasure that I'll introduce Randy Peltz as the incoming chair. Randy has been involved with the Future Oxford Partnership since our inception in February of 16. As I mentioned before, between him and Kelly Gilson, they helped lead the development of the Community Wellbeing Survey, and Randy's been a key part of everything we've done for the last 14 months. Every organization gets to a point where they're moving in a different direction, but we're moving in a different but very exciting direction. It's a good time to pass on the leadership, especially when you know there's someone as capable as Randy who can come along and quite ably do what I've been doing. So can you give a good warm applause, round of applause to Randy Peltz.
Good morning, and thank you, Chris. Very kind words, and no, I can't do what you can do. So, but I continue to learn from you, to be sure. And I'm very privileged to carry on the work of the chair for the partnership for the next couple of years, or unless they oust me before that. We'll see where things go. We've just heard about the great progress having been made on the sustainability plan and the actions contained therein. But there's a lot of work to do ahead of us for the next several years, to be sure, in order to create a future for our children and generations to come that will be so very proud as we look back. On that note, we are recruiting for the partnership. We're looking for passionate, interested citizens of Oxford County to join us, including youth, because it will take a lot of folks to undertake a number of actions that we have in mind and so on. So as we gather here this morning, anyone in attendance or knowing someone with that passion and the ideas and just a big picture thinker that can put pieces together for us, we would definitely appreciate hearing from you. Please visit our Future Oxford booth, and there's applications there, or you can go online as well. This is a volunteer role, as Chris had mentioned, and as we're all volunteers, but I can assure you for those, and I know many in the audience who do give back to the community, it's entirely fulfilling. Let's talk solar energy and the Solar Challenge. Another exciting initiative coming up this year on the renewable energy front are two initiatives that will make it easier for people living in our community to begin incorporating efficient energy design features into their own homes. Recently launched in support of Future Oxford Sustainability Plan, Scotiabank is offering special rates to help local residents with green improvements. Later this year, the Solar Oxford Challenge will offer residents support in greening their homes and making energy-efficient improvements, including installing solar panels. The program will help residents understand how they can generate their own solar power, helping them through the process of becoming renewable energy producers at their own home. To help ensure the long-term success of actions like this, we'll be launching a community survey, yes, another survey, for residents to adopting renewable energy into their homes and identify what barriers might exist to help us with that process. I will ask you to stay tuned to Future Oxford's social media and local media for more information about the survey. We've touched on the Oxford Community Wellbeing Survey, where we sent online surveys to more than 25% of households in Oxford County and asked residents of Oxford County to comment on any number of domains that affect their well-being and their quality of life, whether it be employment, education, culture, leisure, healthcare, access to childcare. The list went on, and we have a pile of information. How's that for being really academic about that? We now need to sort through that information, make sense of it, and take action on it, because you've told us what is lacking, you've told us what's really good. We now need, again, those passionate folks around the county to help us with those actions. Transitioning to economy, there's been a lot of work around the environmental pillar or piece of our plan. There's been a lot of work about the community piece as well. What's going on a little bit more silently is the actions happening in the economy. Again, we've heard about 100% renewable energy, zero waste, and so on. On the economy side of things, though, some good things happening. On that note, I'd like to turn the mic over to two colleagues. Jeff Surridge is CEO of the Community Employment Services, Oxford, and Rick Cox is co-chair of Community Oxford, just as of a few weeks ago, I believe. So they will give you a few hints in terms of the actions to take place that will develop a workforce in Oxford that will position our community to embrace opportunities in the future. Rick, Jeff, thank you.
Thanks, Randy. As a representative of Future Oxford Partnership, I'm thrilled with the direction that Oxford's moving. You know, the Community Sustainability Plan is a living document that will ensure Oxford continues to thrive and be sustainable socially, environmentally, and economically into the future. It recognizes the holistic nature of sustainability and engages the entire community to support strategies going forward. Sustainability is also incredibly complex. Often the goals and objectives of one pillar may appear on the surface to be creating a divergent trichotomy. We know that in reality, we know our community is going to thrive when all the pillars and the objectives get intertwined and develop a cohesive development model. Not one pillar can develop on its own because everything will break down. An essential piece of all that formulation is a review of all the innovative and exciting research that our community is already invested in, including the Canadian Index of Wellbeing, the Oxford Labour Force Development Strategy, and the Employer One Survey, as well as many others. We want to explore synergies across all that research so that we can inform the social, economic, and environmental pillars. The resulting analysis will form a framework to develop an integrated and comprehensive path forward so that we have a brighter future for all the citizens of Oxford. So further to that, on May 11th, we'll be gathering for a strategy session at the Elmhurst Inn, which will be facilitated by Queen's University Executive Decision Center. That group uses technologies and systems that have been used by corporations, governments, national associations. They analyze all the data, they work with the partners on complex problems, and they arrive at high-quality solutions. The key participants in that strategy session will include members of Oxford's economic development organizations, workforce supporting organizations, community stakeholders, and employers that drive Oxford's economy. We're really, really excited that that's really going to move our agenda forward. Rick?
Thanks, Jeff. It's really exciting to me and to, I hope, all of you to see how the overlap of the various initiatives coming out of each of the sustainability plan's three pillars magnify the effect of each other's initiatives' impact. The Wellbeing Survey told us many things about how the work situation of residents who responded affected their sense of well-being. So we know how the residents feel. The Employer Survey 1 gave us a lot of data about the needs of the employers in Oxford. Now, through Jeff's initiative, we're going to put those data together and see what we can build together. Strong employers thriving in Oxford will result in better well-being for our residents. Coming together to devise and invest in initiatives that create positive feedback loop between them, between local employers and community well-being, that will give a very high return on investment for our county's residents and for the companies that are located here. In the long term, achieving the sustainability plan's goals depends on all of us understanding how the work we do can support and be supported by the local economy, the local environment, and the local community. I'm now going to turn the things back over to Chris for some closing remarks.